Hi, I'm Jim Carson, and together with my team, we are the Ford guys that customize, and today we're going to talk about what we feel. A common question we've been asked, what would you build? What's the ultimate truck? And you know what? I think we've got it. We got some great ideas. We're starting with the best truck in the world, the 2016 F-150. We'll talk a little bit more about the specific model later, but we love to modify, and so we're going to modify this truck, and we've come up with what we think is what's going to suit our needs. And I'm going to start with Kevin at the end here. Kevin is our store manager at Bad Dog Modification and Detail Center. He's also a tire and wheel expert. And Kevin, let's talk about tire and wheel. And 365 days a year, I want a great looking truck. I need it to perform. My customers want to drive it in the wintertime, summertime, highway, off-road, the fuel economy, durability, all that stuff. What's it going to be? What's the ultimate tire for our package?
Thanks, Jim. We chose the BF Goodrich All-Terrain TAKO2s for this truck.
Great.
20-inch, 9 inches wide. It's a winter-rated tire. It's E-rated, temp-lide, lots of sidewall strength.
Now the KO2s are relatively new.
It's a very new tire for BF Goodrich, yes.
That TAs or whatever they're called there, they've been around for 14
years, yeah.
Right, and this is the new version. So what's different about the new version?
A lot of technology has changed in the tire. They've closed in the tread pattern so they don't pick up stones as easy. Road noise is brought down quite a bit.
First thing I checked for it, they've got that snowflake mountain symbol.
Yes, it
qualifies
is a
for our
winter-rated
insurance discount. So it is actually a legit winter tire.
Yes.
What's a wider tire sticking outside of the wheel well, but what's some of the problems we encounter up here in our weather with a wider tire?
Stone chips, picking up stones, anything road debris, sticking it out, throwing it on the side of the truck. We won't get this with this tire.
Okay, sounds good. Now what about the wheel? I looked at them, those look hot.
Tell me we went with a Weld Racing rim, forged rim, made in the USA. They use ATC technology, nano ceramic. Very nice rim.
You're confident this is going to give the customer the durability on the wheel, and we're not going to have the problems that...
Yes, with the coating you won't get brake dust, salt stains. Everything should just hose off.
That's awesome, because I mean, I can't wait to see them, because in the picture they look fantastic. All right, well Kevin, really appreciate that. That's our wheel and tire.
Thank you, Jim.
So now everybody's favorite, let's talk about suspension and what we decided to go with. I have here our fixed operations manager overseeing all our parts and service operations, Mr. Greg Chapman, gearhead proficionado, 68 Ford. And he's driven a lot of Ford trucks himself. So tell us, what are we going with? Suspension. Who is it? What's the brand?
Well, Jim, with this build, we want to go with Fabtech Dirt Logic 4-inch suspension.
Yeah. All right. I know lots about Fabtech. Great company.
Very good company.
And you and I have been to SEMA before, and I noticed when you go to the Ford booth, you know, and you see the show trucks, and you see a very strong relationship with Fabtech and Ford. That's pretty obvious, don't you think?
There's a great partnership with them. Actually, they worked with Ford to build a specific product for Ford application.
Awesome. Okay, so explain to me the difference between, I'm going to get this for you here and help you out. This is a factory strut that has been donated from another 2016 F-150. So tell us the difference between a basic lift kit and a performance lift kit like the Dirt Logic.
Okay, Jim, well, this is your factory, as you said. With your lift kits and leveling kits, it would be just a direct spacer right on top here, almost like a puck form, and using the factory suspension. This actually swaps out the factory suspension, and they went with a coilover suspension.
So the whole unit gets replaced?
The whole unit gets replaced on this.
Okay, so let me clarify again. So 2-inch, 4-inch, 6-inch, all of those kits are available as a basic kit, would essentially be one big ass spacer.
That's right, that is correct.
But you're not changing the actual suspension, and that to me would cause some issues with you're putting a heavier wheel and tire on, you haven't changed this, right?
Exactly, this was designed for the factory vehicle. So now you're changing the integrity of the factory component here, which we've just decided to scrap that and replace it with a well-performing whole assembly coilover.
And that's the Dirt Logic 2¼ inch, is that right? 2¼ inch is what it is?
2¼ inch, exactly. A little more beefier, gives you that handling. You're driving a luxury truck, you still want it to feel like a luxury truck.
And that's what I was impressed when you told me they're actually designing it to basically copy what Ford intended with the factory suspension, but now do give you that ride even though you have a much heavier wheel and tire, and of course, a 4-inch lift in this case.
Exactly, and you're going to add bigger tires typically when you lift your truck, bigger wheels. So in order to keep that ride integrity, you're going to want to change that whole assembly there and not ride with the factory.
Okay, Greg, well that's the suspension, so thank you very much for that. And last but certainly not least, we're going to talk to Jimmy Layton, our General Sales Manager, and Jim and I have worked together for many years. I can't even count, it's got to be in the thousands of custom vehicles we've built together over that time period. So I asked Jim, well, actually Jim insisted that he's going to tell me what he wants to use if it was his truck to protect that truck and keep it looking good. And we are not talking about the magic wax, folks. The stuff that car dealers want to sell you for 800 bucks, you might as well just come down here and spend $8.99, not 800. Get yourself some Mother synthetic wax if that's what you want to do. No, we are not talking about that. We're going to talk about a coating. Jimmy, explain to us coatings and who we're going to use.
So the coating that I would put on this truck, Jim, would be product from G Technique. It's a nano ceramic coating, crystal serum product. It's done in 2 stages. So we do a very fine polish on the factory paint, and then we
brand new vehicle, but we still do a full polish on it, even though it's
full
new.
polish, brand new.
Spend a lot of money.
Still some fallout on the vehicle. We want to make sure that the paint is absolutely top notch before we apply the product. So we'll polish the vehicle, stage 1. Stage 2 then is to apply the crystal serum. So the crystal serum is going to put that ceramic type finish on it, hard finish on the paint. And we're going to let that sit for about 24 hours inside. We're going to let it dry. We're going to make sure it's perfectly clean. And we're going to put a product called XO on it, which is going to give it a super hydrophobic finish on it.
I mean, that sounds like a bullshit word that you use in the sales department, but it actually is
It's on the back of the bottle, actually, I think.
Yes, it's a real word.
Yeah.
You know, it's a scientific term that applies, that needs to meet a certain standard to be able to use that definition. It really applies to how the water beads and rolls off, the angle of beading, I guess it is. Cool. For a coating on the paint, how long does that last? The crystal serum?
The crystal serum lasts for 7 years, Jim, on this vehicle.
Yeah.
On any vehicle.
And it's fully warranted for that.
Fully warranted for the 7 years.
Well, I'll tell you why I believe that. When we tested it, remember when we tried to polish that off, there's nothing we have, there's no pad, there's no compound that we know of that you can remove that crystal serum. It had to be wet sanded to get it off.
That's
and
right.
that was impressive. That was after it was fully cured, mind you. So, but it's tough, it's durable, but let's be honest, it's not a nuclear shield.
It's not.
Stone chips. Big problem.
Not going to stop stone chips.
Right. And we got the product to do
We
with
have
that.
the product for that as well.
Right. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we have Pro Series 3M paint protection film, which will apply on the hood, the fenders, and along both sides of the lower rockers on this particular truck.
And Pro Series is a new version from 3M, relatively new, come out in the last year or so.
That's right.
It's a self-healing film. Mm-hmm. And so what does self-healing do? Tell us just quickly about that, about repairing the scratches. So just heat and that's it, and it'll repair its own scratches?
Pretty much, Jim. Pretty much how it works.
That's cool. Well, when you see it on, the Pro, what I'm impressed with, no orange peel, and the gloss. I mean, you put it on black, you put it on white, you do not see that product.
It's a beautiful product.
Yeah. Well,
we have a great installer. Does a fabulous job. Can't even tell it's there.
That's what I'm proud about with Blackstock Ford is our core value. One of them is certainly integrity and the quality of products that we're using. We got BF Goodrich, we got Weld, we got FabTech, we got G Technique, we got 3M, and we got Ford Motor Company, baby. It's an awesome truck. I can't wait to see it.